So, guys, what did you just see? Now, firstly, if that sheikh with the big stick that came hammering down is collecting disability benefit, then someone should take the clip of that video and send it to the DWP to see if that dirty sheikh is a benefit fraud. Because you all saw him both in the debate not needing to use his stick, and in the fight he's raising the stick and doing that.
Like a sword.
Like a sword, like a stick. And him and a bunch of mob-handed Islamist militants attacked a group of Christians in this park, assaulting me, assaulting my brother, and assaulting another brother back there. Let's be clear about the sequence of events.
All right.
We were having a debate. The sheikh was losing the debate.
He was.
The sheikh lost his temper. The sheikh pushed me. I pushed back and I said, don't push. At which point, several Muslims jumped in attacking us. Several Christians jumped in to defend me. And then Christians were assaulted, including the brother who was kicked and punched multiple times by a bunch of jihadi trash, jihadi filth that we in this culture consistently turn a blind eye to because our liberal elites are frightened to stand up to these scum and they are frightened to put the nail onto them. Liberalism is the cause of this kind of Islamic militancy.
It is.
And a muscular Christianity is the answer to this kind of Islamic militancy, because it would embolden and empower the police to look at the videos, identify the people, and make the necessary arrests. However, we don't live in a world in which our society is governed by a muscular Christianity. Instead, we live in a society governed by weak and spineless liberals who disempower the police and embolden Islamists in this country. Every time that they do something and there are no consequences, it emboldens them for the next time. Why did the Muslims turn violent in this park? Because we've beaten them. Because their sheikh had no answer to our argument about his Quran. And so he used violence. And all of us brothers,
Taking his details of the night.
yeah, all of us brothers that have took blows for Christ are confessors in Christ our Lord. We're not going to be intimidated, we're not going to run, and we're not going to back down. There's vote!
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 You can't beat us in debate, and that's why you use violence.
Losers, frauds. Yeah, well done, Bosila. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
And I just want to say that the police in this park don't have my confidence. I pointed out to you, and some of you caught it on camera, I pointed out one of the people that insulted me. And the guy, a chubby fat guy, who kicked me when I was on the floor like the coward he is, like a jelly bean, he did a jog out of the park. And you could tell the police were totally unmotivated to uphold the law.
I didn't run.
Because the police officer literally just walked after him whilst he watched him jog out of the park. What confidence can Christians have that the police are here to protect us all when they literally allow people who are reported for assault to do nothing and don't even bother to question them. The park's police are a lazy police that aren't interested in upholding the rights of Christians in this park. The park's police are lazy pension collecting police who will allow assault after assault after assault to happen in this park because it's too much bother to be here, and it's too much bother, even when you point out who did it, for them to give chase.
Too much paperwork.
Christians,
Yeah.
the reason why these jihadi scum that you see in this park don't behave like this in Golders Green
Why?
is because the Jews follow a Benedict option. They are collected en masse geographically into specific spaces where they are the majority. And if you pick on one Jew in Golders Green, you're going to be fighting a street full before you know what you're doing.
The whole community.
Christians,
Yeah.
the state has demonstrated that it will not protect the Christians of this country. And that is why, as Christians, we must form our own Benedict communities across England so that we can defend ourselves. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, go on.
This special verse I found in the Quran. It tells everything that Muslims believe. This one here, 930.
Yeah. So it's a very famous verse in the Quran, and it says this, reading from 29. In the Quran it states,
Number 30, the other one.
yes,
Big one, yeah.
says in 20, reading from 29.
That's fine, yeah.
Fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and His Messenger has made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth for those who were given the scripture until they paid jizya willingly while they are humbled. Goes on to say, Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah, and Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah. That is their statement from their mouths. They imitate the saying of those who disbelieve before them. May Allah destroy them, how they are deluded. So the Quran commands Muslims to fight Christians and Jews because they don't believe in Islam. Christians have suffered violence at the hands of jihadi scum for 1400 years. It's nothing new. And because our elites won't see what is right in front of them, the violence that we see against Christians in Pakistan, Egypt, Syria and northern Nigeria, you are now seeing in a park in London in 2023. Stop voting for the Conservatives. Stop voting for Labour. Stop voting for the Liberal Democrats. Free yourselves from the elites and establish a political party in this country that will bring the full might of the law to bear down on the jihadi trash that you saw attack Christians in this park today. And this proves it, guys. When Muslims have to resort to violence in the park, they are doing it because they lost the debate about their own religion. We disproved their religion to them and they had no response. And so they turned to violence. And that's why I say we have beaten the Dawagandists in this park. It isn't Islam that you need to follow.
Somebody decides to punch you, they punch you.
Yeah, they lost.
Not necessarily, they could just be offended by what you're saying.
They lost.
You can't stop that, can you?
They lost. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear. let's be clear. We have demonstrated through, the Christians of the park have demonstrated through defeating the Muslims of the park in argument that the Christian faith is the faith that you need to follow. Because we Christians can defend our religion using arguments. But as you saw on camera today, Muslims lost the defense of their religion in argument and used violence.
So the question I want to ask you now, Bob, is that earlier on, an incident took place. As a direct result, the police came, and as a direct result of that, you was taken away just over the corner there to have a discussion with the police. If you believe it's appropriate, can I ask you a few questions about the discussion or the outcome?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So they took you away to find out more in private.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah.
So what was the outcome of that discussion?
So basically the police officer said that he would write up a report if I wanted to. So he'd take down my details, he'd write up a report, and he'd put it on record.
So
But the thing is, I literally watched him let the person that I said, this person assaulted me, get out of the park. And he didn't even bother to give chase. Now, the police officer said that it was because there's been a much more significant incident over outside of the park. Fine, but he didn't come from outside of the park, he came from inside of the park. And I pointed out to him who had assaulted me, one of the people that assaulted me, and he didn't give chase. And I want to say, how can Christians have confidence in the police if the police are not willing to protect us, even when we point out to them who's attacking us? And this is why I say to all Christians, we need a muscular Christianity. We need to follow the Benedict option, because you can't go through the streets of Golders Green behaving like that. And there's a reason, because the Jews are all in one group and they all look after one another. And that's exactly the model that Christians in the UK need to adopt, because the state is telling you again and again and again that it will not protect you and cannot protect you.
as you know, Bob, I'm not a person who clips and chops and goes back and watches. I haven't got time for that. But one thing that does concern me about what you said is that you had a discussion with the police. I observed myself when they arrived, the gentleman was in the front, you pointed him out, and then he just ran off. But when you had your discussion, you did say just now that the police is going to be doing a report. But prior to the report, that's based on what you said, I saw lots of evidence was being shown to the police. Did they ask any person to forward that evidence that would maybe help to strengthen a report that they would be writing? Have they obtained any evidence in the form of video footage?
Yeah. I can't speak for what the police have or have not done. All I can say is that when they said to me, I'll take down a report if you want to.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to, they're not going to act on it. And this is a problem with how this park is being policed. The police, if they witness a crime, don't need someone to report it. If they witness a crime, they have in their powers a duty to intervene. And it is very clear that if they just watch the camera videos, they are going to see who assaulted who. And they will be able to identify regulars who come here and made the attacks upon the Christians, a Christophobic attack on Christians in this park. They don't need someone to make a complaint. They can simply act on the evidence and arrest people based on the evidence, and they have a duty to do so. They are using "you're not making a complaint" as an excuse not to do their jobs, because the police, either because they're completely demotivated, or they don't have the confidence, or they don't have the courage, or they're just bone idle. For whatever reason, the police don't want to police the park, and Christians are being attacked.
I believe they had a duty to act once they had a reasonable belief that someone had done something.
Right.
But I don't know the laws, you know.
Well, let me
Steve,
add to what Bob's just said. They did take a small handful of people's telephone numbers and names, but even though I saw two people show them on their phones
Yeah, well,
video
I got it.
directly of the attack.
I got it on
They
film.
weren't interested.
I got it
They
on
weren't
film.
interested. I saw one guy said, "Can I send it to you?" And you could see the look on the police face was basically no.
Let's work.
They didn't want a link to a YouTube video. They didn't want it sent to them. They didn't want an email. And I know because I've given video evidence from other scenarios outside of Speaker's Corner. All the police do is they email you a link to a portal where you just upload your video. It is so easy like that. And when they want to do it, they can do it like that. And I've done it in regard to the cup and ball scammers on Westminster Bridge, when frequently I videoed them. The police contact me and say, "Can you send us that video?" And then they send me a link every time, and I upload the video, bang, bang, bang. So they're not interested in doing it. And as Bob has said, and well, you said, we saw them just let the one person run off. The old guy that people are calling the Sheikh, multiple people identified him to the police, pointed him out in the park. Again, showed them videos of it.
Of a disabled man using a crutch.
Very disabled. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm reasonably certain they did not even walk up to that guy.
Didn't even walk up to
Didn't even walk up to that guy to take his name and number. So we know what their excuse will be, as well as what Bob said, which I want to build on as well. They'll say, "We don't know who he is. We don't know his identity," because you bloody ignored him when he was standing there in front of you. So it's multiple evidence after evidence that the police aren't interested. They don't want to follow it up. It's what the hell's going on?
The
What
camera evidence demonstrated that the Sheikh assaulted multiple people. A Sheikh who's walking with a crutch, right? That Sheikh pushed me. I pushed him back, said don't push, and then everyone piles in. And then the Sheikh is supposedly disabled. And I really do want someone to send the video to the DWP. Because if that guy's claiming disability benefit, we've got evidence that he's a fraudster.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And he's assaulting multiple people.
I told the police, and I'm one of the people that gave my
He's
details
attacking
to the police,
people with a weapon.
that this guy repeatedly swung his crutch up in the air and crashed it down on people's backs and on people's heads. Repeatedly, and the police did not even go and get that guy's name.
But imagine what would happen if Christians started behaving like that. The outcry in the media, the Islamophobia, they would say.
The differential application of the law by the police is a slippery slope to anarchy.
Yes.
That's word differential application.
With differential application, absolutely, because when they pick and choose, we don't want a video for this violent attack in Speaker's Corner, but yeah, please send us the videos of the scammers on Westminster Bridge. What is going on here? When the police pick and choose which laws? So fraud on Westminster Bridge, quite rightly they're following it up, but violence, religiously aggravated violence,
With a weapon,
they don't even get the guy's name.
And I bet you that Sheikh, that shithead Sheikh, that jihadi scum Sheikh, that defrauding of the benefit system Sheikh, that Sheikh will never be arrested by the police, no matter how much video evidence is sent to the Royal Parks Police. I encourage all of you, get the clips, send it to the police, and just see how they don't do anything about the Sheikh's activity.
Today, I'm afraid, was one of the typical pathetic examples of the Royal Parks Police. They are pathetic. And the bloody Home Secretary needs to speak to the Met and deal with the Royal Parks Police. There are one or two of them that do an okay job.
Yes.
We know a very good one that we retired. We know a very good one that's on now. But today, it was embarrassing how the Royal Parks, the RO section of the Metropolitan Police, reported to blatant religiously aggregated violence. They were not interested.
Imagine if someone had done that, if there was a pride march where some Christian had assaulted them because of some kind of argument, imagine how that would have been reported in the media and acted on by the Met Police. Because apparently now, some communities have more protection from the police than others.
The Metropolitan Police are still under special measure. They are under special measures. They've been under special measures for months. The press aren't talking about it. The capital city of this country's police force are under special measures because of incompetence. And the Royal Parks Police are the worst. The absolute worst.
As normal, I want to thank you very much. because I have to shut down, and it has been a shame what I did see, the violence that was perpetrated. Iraq has nothing to do with today, so we can...
Don't feed the troll. Finish what you're saying.
Yeah, thank you very much for today, and it has been great. And
Street Mike,
big up.
second best channel in the park.
But you know, but I will say,
After Soko films.
I did see
They're my film.
I did see Soko being assaulted.
Yeah, Soko, JC was assaulted, I was assaulted, another Christian brother was assaulted. 5 of them set about one of the Christian brothers. 5! These lions of Islam, so brave that they have to gang up at you 5 at a time.
I hear you, but thank you.
Jihadi trash.
And we'll be back 1 to 6 p.m. next week as normal. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Wendell Daniel from Street Night. We have been live streaming from
Let's go get a drink.
102 today. I was 2 minutes late, which is unusual.
God bless.
You're late. That's not.
You look after yourself. Stay safe.
I'll see you next week.